Damn, that was a long month underwater. We'll book the camera, dry myself off.
It's a good accent.
It'd be a pirate's whole life you wait for an accent like this. Dude, when you forget a towel to dry yourself.
Yeah, was that your shirt?
Yeah.
You're hurting.
Alright, NoLimit Podcast is back. You're gonna be hearing me come through any balls, Mike. I know what the fuck's good.
How are you? How the hell are you? It's been a while. How long's it been? 5 weeks? A month?
More than a few.
More than a few. Factual. That shirt's a dunion.
Clip back up.
You're not gonna be cold?
A dunion.
A dunion. It ain't onions, it's dunions.
Sorry to the audio listeners. We're about to get to top quality in 1 second here.
You're not gonna be cold?
Nah, I'll be alright. Yo, welcome to the NoLimit Podcast, also known as the Gone Swimming Frogcast, here with the Tadpole, Any Bowl, and your dad's bro, NoLimit Eddie. What up?
How are you? It's NoLimit Nation. Glad to be back. I missed it.
Alright, topics, guy. Where we at?
Let's talk about what the people want to talk about. We're going to talk about, obviously Simone Biles.
Of course.
Controversy with her. COVID's coming back.
Yeah, that Delta variant, bro. I'm sure that you guys haven't had enough. We're going to give our thoughts on it.
Delta Airlines variant.
How it's going to affect things going forward. Are we going to go back into another lockdown? I mean, we could do that. Talk about those two things. Or we could talk about the real facts, the real shit people want to hear about. What did Any Bowl do on his summer vacation?
My summer vacation from NoLimit, not from work.
Yeah, like for you audio listeners, don't get scared. We're not going to talk about neither of those things.
Yeah, if I hear the word Simone Biles, I'll literally off myself. I guess that's not a word; it's a name. But if I hear her name one more time, I'm going to off myself. She's gone. You know what I mean? She quit. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's over. That's all you need to know.
Let's worry about Chun Meng and Swin. Had one of the best ping pong games. Two ladies from China. One of the best ping pong games I ever seen.
There you go.
That's all I needed from the Olympics this year.
All we needed. But yeah, who wants to talk about that boring shit when we can talk about the exciting life of Any Bowl? Well, actually, you know what I did since this podcast started? I started drinking tap water. I've never drank tap water ever.
Shout out fluoridation.
Yeah, I've completely adopted tap water. Like, this whole fucking thing is tap water. I drink like 3 of these things a day.
Any hydrated bowl.
I'm any hydrated bowl, all times of the day. So I thought that was an interesting life change for me.
It's a new good habit to pick up.
You know what I mean?
More water is good water.
No, I always drink water. It was just always bottled or like filtered water from the fucking. Now I'm like, you know what? I want it from the pipes. I want to feel the world in me. You know what I mean? I want the soil. I want it all.
Straight out of that 1846 piping system.
Exactly. Just giving me all types of diseases. But no, I went to Key West. I went to Key West, Florida. Had a nice trip with my friends. Shout out my coochies. Love yous. I had a really fucking good time out there, actually. I wish I was still there. Minus doing the podcast. I can't do the podcast. I'm out there without you. But minus that.
We could do a Zoom piece like we did with Sabu.
Fuck. Yo. First instant beef of the season. I'm glad we get out of the way. Any podcast that's still doing it on Zoom. If you're not from... If your co-host isn't in fucking Jersey and you're in California, if you're in the same state, same town, and you're doing your podcast on Zoom, I got no time for it.
Either way, I don't think you should start up a podcast if your co-host is thousands of miles away.
I agree. I think that you need the person like in the room.
Yeah.
You need to have the conversation. I just don't believe in that Zoom shit.
Just in case you talk slick, I gotta hit you with a rock bottom.
Exactly. Choke slam into the pool. But yeah, and with. I don't want to get into COVID, but with the COVID thing, everyone's like, oh yeah, work's going to be, like a lot of people's jobs are going to be from home now. Dude, people are inside and like non-social enough. We're going to pull that aspect out of it where like everything is done on like FaceTime. I'm not with that at all.
I'm digging right into your Key West trip, bro. I want to know what was going on at the Garden of Eden.
Oh my God. The Garden of Eden, if you're not familiar with the Garden of Eden, if you've never been to Key West or you've never heard of it, the Garden of Eden is a bar. It's like on Duval Street. So Duval Street is like their, what's that street in,
Bourbon.
Yeah, it's like Bourbon Street, but in Key West. It's smaller.
The French Quarter.
But it's cool. It's like, it's got bars all over it and shops.
Shout out my ancestors.
A ton of scumbags.
Eastern Europe.
I smoked a cigarette with a homeless dude. I gave him a cigarette. We smoked it. We had a good conversation. He was telling me about life and stuff. I learned a lot. But in the Garden of Eden, so there's a first floor, which is they got like a concert, like a stage area, and they have like a live band or whatever. No one's down there. Then the middle floor is like a buffer zone, and it's like an Irish bar. If you go upstairs, this is where you can't have your phone or any type of recording device or anything like that, and it's completely nude.
Do they strip search you to make sure you don't have any of these things?
No, you can have it on you. They're not gonna like. They can't.
Do they let you go up there with glasses on? Because glasses can record now. Did you see anyone with glasses on?
I don't know if they're that top-notch quality, and the shit up there you don't want to record. Like, you really don't want to record. But it's like jarring. Like, you walk up and it's just two old dudes, balls naked, just having a conversation with like a cocktail. Like, it's just weird. It's just a weird place. It's not that
Cock and
big.
a cocktail would have been a better name for the place.
A what?
Cock and a cocktail.
Cock and a cocktail. That would send not the wrong message if you're into that, but that would send one message. The ladies wouldn't go to cock and a cocktail, I don't think.
Really?
I mean, maybe some.
Listen to the name, bro.
But
Cock and a cocktail. The ladies would go. They want cock, they want a cocktail.
Certain ladies. I think older, non-attractive ladies would go if that was their motive. But yeah, the Garden of Eden is a nude bar in Key West. It's the top floor, and it's just when you're in a place like that, you're like, I shouldn't be here.
You definitely shouldn't have been.
You never get a good vibe.
Because the average age was what?
Old 50s, late 40s. You know, there wasn't like, we were the youngest people in there, for sure.
Did anybody look at you weird because they thought maybe you were like young pervs trying to see old?
But you know, like if you're like a local or like
snatch?
a regular at that bar, like they probably see dudes and like young girls like all the time, like like going up and just to see what it is. You know what I mean? What would have been way more funny is if I like went up there and just like went balls naked immediately.
But were
like,
you
yo, can I get a Miller Lite? And just was like real mingling with everyone.
I wanted to ask that too. Were you the only group of people that weren't fully naked?
Yeah, we did not get naked. No, we weren't the only people. Like, I would have dished my shirt or something maybe if I was feeling a little frisky, you know? Oh, I made a joke. I was like, I should just keep my shirt on, take my pants and my underwear off, and put my sneakers back on, and have my sneakers, my shirt on, and be completely balls out.
No, sneakers and naked elsewhere would have been the funniest. Just sneakers.
Yeah, I don't want to get my feet dirty. Fuck that.
Well, no, were there people dressed like that? No, I think that seems kind of practical. If you're going to go full naked, you might still want something on your feet, though.
Dude, I don't think they really cared. I think if they got the confidence and, like, the wisdom to just be like, yeah, you know what, I'm balls naked in this bar, and I'm swinging. And
like you said about regulars, most of the people that probably go there are regulars.
Yeah, that's a niche group of people.
And they probably get that young group of kids who pops in, look at these old heads, and they're like, we're all fucking later. What are you doing?
Exactly, and they're like hardcore about it. They're like, yeah, this is gonna be an orgy in an hour. You know what I mean? And then the kids, like, after like a little while, like, all right, let's get out of here and move to the next place. Have you seen it?
So is it mostly couples in there, or are there single people walking around naked?
I didn't really talk to anybody.
Why not?
I didn't talk. I don't know. Like,
I feel like especially you're gonna be so drunk, like there's your time.
I was also hammered. Like I don't know. I just wasn't really thinking about it, I guess. I was hammered. Like, from the time I got there to the time I left, I was hammered.
So it's a regular bar, other than that everyone's naked. People are on bar stools with bare ass cheeks.
Correct.
Ass cheeks are on bar stools.
Correct.
Is there someone coming to like sanitize after they get up, or the next pair of ass cheeks just replaces them?
You can do whatever you want in Florida. That sanitizing shit does not exist down there.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want down there.
Yeah. Florida is a state where you can do whatever you want. Especially Key West, where it's like
the southernmost tip of it, and it's like not connected. Like
You're basically in Cuba.
Yeah, it's its own world. That's what everything around there's like 90 miles of Cuba. All this. It's the first time I've ever been there. It's like I'm seeing all this shit. It's like literally everything is advertised. 90 minutes to Cuba, this and all that.
Really? Mm-hmm. But you can't drive to Cuba.
Nah, boat.
If it's that close, though, they could make a road.
They could make a bridge, or like some kind of road. Yeah, for sure. But why? Let Cuba be its own thing. We're its own thing. Fuck it. Let it be. Another thing over break. I'm sure you've noticed. Maybe I don't know if it's getting picked up on the camera. Maybe we got some bad lighting. I don't know. But
nah, you'll be good.
I'm gonna
tell them about it.
I'm a mustache guy.
100%.
By accident. By completely accident. So before the trip, I was like, it was like Monday or whatever. I was leaving on Thursday. I was like, I should probably shave. So like I'm a little fresh, and I'll shave again when I'm down there. So I went to trim my beard, and for some reason, I had like a 9 guard on there. I had it like pretty decently, like on there. So I didn't want to take off a whole lot. I just wanted to trim it and clean it up.
A 9 guard, for those that don't know, it's like a clip you put on the. You put on the razor, the clipper.
On my Phillips Norelco.
It doesn't cut your hair.
Free plug.
All the way down to the face.
Free plug for Phillips Norelco. So you have the blade, then you have a 1, a 3, a 5, a 7, 9, 12. So I put the 9 guard on there to trim my beard up, make it look cute and pretty for the ladies. Yo, no limit. That's what I'm bossing.
Go ahead with your story. I'm gonna drink my ice.
So I was shaving and I'm trimming it up, and like I just got my neck real clean, like it looked real good. I got the top, I'm shaving my eyebrows, I'm doing the whole nine. So I'm like, all right, now it's time to trim the beard, because that's how I go. And I go neck, I trim the cheeks, then I get my nose hairs, I trim my eyebrows up, I do everything fine first, then I get the beard. I get the shape of the beard going, then I trim up the hairs that are there. So put the guard on it, and I, for some reason, dickhead move, brain fart, I turned the guard and went the opposite way with it, took off my whole cheek. So the whole beard was just gone from here. I was like, fuck. I was like, then I'll just shave it into a goatee. But like on there, it was a little bit of stubble.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, if I use that part of the guard again and just shave the rest of my face, it'll take to that length. I was wrong. Like I went back to it, but like I pressed on it the whole time and gave it full force, and it took off all the hair. So I was like, all right, this is gone. And it took off my cheek, or my chin rather, so I couldn't have the goatee. So I was like, I don't want to be fucking clean shaven because I look like a weirdo anymore. I feel like when I do that, like I'm not used to it, so it's
Any
like weird.
young bull.
Yeah, it's I look a whole different dude anymore. So I was like, I was only able to salvage my mustache and the soul patch.
And I sent you that good video, or you would have had the creeper stash.
Yes, and Eddie, I texted Ed and I was like, dude, be honest. I just did this by accident. I said, can I pull this off? I need to know right now. He said, yeah, 100%. He said, wait, block your soul patch. He said, wait, don't get rid of it. I said, dude, I think I can get rid of the soul patch. I look weirdo. He said, send me a picture. I went like this. And he said, yeah, keep it. But yeah, then he sent me a video clutch how to trim it right, and I did that, and I think it worked. I think it works for me.
For all you young guys out there trying to get a mustache, the absolute key is right here above your lip. You got to get either a trimmer, or if you use a Gillette razor, the back single blade, pull your lip down and then shave just a little of this area so there's skin between your lip and your mustache. That's how you get top-notch mustache.
Just clean it up and go all the way with. Like, see how I have it cut? Like, see how yours is connecting to a beard? I have my whole thing cut, so I have a little bit. I go all the way up.
The worst look is the curly mustache hanging over your lip.
Yeah.
Terrible. Absolutely horrible
and
look.
like food gets caught in it. It's just fucking nasty looking. You're kissing a girl. It's in her lips. Just not good.
I didn't fuck my face up any bit over our little summer vacation.
Yeah, I'll just go.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing crazy. I was down the shore a few times, down Wildwood, New Jersey, former topic from last season. It was a good time. I like to go on a Wednesday. I love to go on a Wednesday or like a Tuesday. No traffic on the way down. The beach, there's nobody there. It was actually interesting because the first week of our hiatus was deep into June, I think. And or did it start in July? I think it was like deep June. Like we didn't do any.
It might have been the end of June because we didn't record any podcasts.
Yeah, we didn't record any in July. So I recognized I went down 1 week, and I just thought to myself, this is the last week before people really start heading down, because it was absolutely dead on a Wednesday. The next week, I went down on a Thursday. It was packed. You could tell that July time comes, that midsummer comes, and the shore really starts getting packed.
Yeah.
So then, because of that, I don't like the big crowds. I don't like too many people being down there. I stopped going as much. I took one trip to Atlantic City. Vacation piece, stayed in a hotel. The whole 9 yards. Whew, bro, don't even get me started on this place. I don't even want to say their name because it was just so...
It's a rhyme with.
It was just a rowboat.
Okay.
Showboat.
Fuck
so
the showboat.
I heard bad things about it before they closed, way back a few years ago, and heard good things about it since they reopened back up.
The showboat's one of the older ones, right?
Yeah, but they closed it for a while and then reopened it back up. So we tried it out. Get down there, wait an hour and 10 minutes in line to wait for your key to get in the room. Go up. The room's open because the maid just cleaned it. Got no problem with the room, to be honest. The room was clean. The bathroom was nice. 2 sinks. The soap wasn't even bad. The soap didn't dry the shit out of my skin, which normal hotel soap usually does. No problem with what's inside the room. All clean, whatever. We get in the first time, it's all good because the door was unlocked. We leave, try to use the room keys, they don't work. I go downstairs. There's a line to check in your room, but then there's a guest services section where there's no line because there's no employee working it. But I'll tell you what, I'm not getting back in that hour-long line for you to make these keys work that I just waited for. So I'm standing there for like 15 minutes, talk to one lady. She comes by. Oh, I can't help you. I'm off the clock. Clown.
Right there, I would have lost it.
I find another guy. I'm
Ugh.
like, dude, he's like a janitor. I'm talking to him. I'm like, bro, can you go get me like a manager or somebody? I know you can't do nothing, but can you grab someone who can help me with these keys? And he's like, there's no manager here. Definitely lying just because he don't want to help me. So I go back, stand at the guest services thing. Dude stares me in my face from the regular check-in line like three or four times, and I'm just standing here like this with the keys. At one point, I said something about, I think I said, can we get a fix the keys line going over here? It's like them commercials where you're turning into your parents. This lady comes up with her
Typical old headline.
This lady comes up with her 3 kids behind me. Now there's a little line behind me forming of people with just key problems. The dude finally comes over, has the balls to say, who's first? Like, he didn't see me standing there by myself, look over 3 or 4 times before anyone else showed up. And he walks over and says, who's first? Clown. Another clown. So forget that place. I spent most of my time in the Borgata playing poker, to be honest. That place was just where I rested my head. Tropicana I hit up too. I hit up Ocean, which was right next door. Very nice. Very nice.
Who had the best luck all weekend?
Who?
Borgata, Trop. Where was the best luck at?
Oh, the Tropicana.
Trop.
You know me. I'm a poker guy. The Tropicana was literally... It was just older people giving away money.
Yeah.
3 in the afternoon. What else did I got to do but give a young bull money?
A young any bull.
Exactly. So I spent most of my time in there. I hit up Ocean. They don't have poker, but I just wanted to go over there because they have a nice casino and just like an overall nice hotel experience. So I checked it out. Got a player's card made. Free t-shirt. Shout out Ocean. I liked my 5 minutes in your place more than my 24 hours in the other one. Thinking about maybe staying there on a trip, but it's pretty expensive. So this free promo on a NoLimit podcast should be worth 2 nights. I don't know.
And if you're gonna be gambling there, I mean, you said they don't got poker, right?
Yeah, they don't got poker. You know that's really what I get into. All right, but moving on. You know, we had a great summer vacation. No Limit's back. Little quick check-in. Real topics for today do have something to do with the Olympics, but not what you've been hearing over and over again. We're gonna talk about our boy, the man, the myth, the legend himself, up there in the category of Babe Ruth. Just an absolute urban legend.
Urban legend. A living urban legend.
Michael Phelps. Pool's right behind us, his stomping grounds. Let's talk about the guy.
Dude, he can probably swim this pool with 4 strokes of his arm.
How many times do you think he could go up and back underwater?
In a row? Continuously? Over 100. I think over 100.
Without coming up to breathe.
You're counting 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
So 50 laps back and forth he could do.
He can do 50 laps.
I think this pool is like 20, 25 meters. Down in the comments, do you think Michael Phelps has 50 times up and back underwater? I think he would get close.
I think he would do over 100.
You're not out there like your number with the 9-year-olds on that one. He's going to get close.
My 9-year-old number was not out there, bro. But I'm not going to get back into it. We're going to get Kathy out here on the show. But, he can do 100.
So Michael Phelps, 2008 Olympics, I think it was, where he had his best performance, and he took home those bunch of gold medals. That's what he originally made his fame for. Secondarily, he got a little bit of fame off of his diet in general, supposedly eating over 12,000 calories a day. Makes a lot of sense. Anybody who's ever swam in a pool, you can imagine how many calories you burn if you swim
especially with
an excess amount in the pool every single day. So he got some fame from that.
Diet was?
Ton of eggs, I know that.
Yeah.
Ton of eggs, like a 12-egg omelet and then 10 egg whites just to start off the day.
That's unbelievable, man. Wow. I couldn't imagine eating like that.
Yeah, when we did our past pool podcast, I think we said this before, but now let the cat fully out of the bag. This is not the first time that we have attempted to record a pool podcast.
No, we definitely talked about it, but...
The first time, NoLimit Eddie deleted the audio. I'm sorry. I apologize. But, second time's a charm. So we're back here again talking about Michael Phelps. On the first episode, we had his exact diet, but now all I know is he liked eggs.
Yeah, our phones are in use. We can't really... I remember the eggs too, but it was like crazy. It was like
a whole pizza,
a
pound of pasta like twice a day.
Yeah, like it was unreal to get 12,000 calories.
And then I feel like the third thing that I knew about him, after that he's an amazing swimmer, one of the best of all time, He eats a crazy amount of food. The third thing I found out is that he smokes weed.
In addition to all these things. So, like, being, like, the fact that he can eat all that food and not be weighed down is crazy. And then he gets, like, high. And I'm sure that helps him eat so much.
Yeah, that's why he would do it, of course.
You know what I mean? But no, it's also therapeutic. It also his muscles probably need, like, to relax and speed up the process of relaxing because he's got to get back out there the next day or whatever. Because the toll that he was putting on his body, especially probably gearing up for the Olympics, was probably insane.
And that brings us to where we are now with him. And that's why it's funny that we recorded this before and spoke about him, because back when we spoke about him,
which wasn't that
and
long
recorded
ago.
before, which wasn't that long ago, he was not in the limelight currently at all. He wasn't. But now with the Olympics, the 2020 Olympics, which I didn't know were going to be called 2020, not 2021, until I watched the first event and saw that it was 2020. I actually said, fried moment, I said, why they got on last year's?
Wait, I didn't know it was the 2020 Olympics.
Yeah, it is. If you watch any of the events, it's called
because
Tokyo
of
2020.
COVID, it was supposed to be twice.
Yeah, and the Olympics only happens every 4 years. Like the 2020 summer, then it would be 24 summer.
So they're still going to
winter.
have that one in 2024?
Yeah, and they're still going to have 2022 winter next year, so it's going to be 2 in a row.
Cool.
Any facts?
I prefer the Winter Olympics.
So a few months ago, Michael Phelps wasn't in the limelight at all. Now he's back in the limelight because he's commentating a lot of stuff for the Olympics. He's doing another sort of job as a reporter for them
Phelps,
on the thing that
nation.
we said we're not going to talk about earlier, that we jokingly talked about. He reports on that.
Like, Michael Phelps, like, swept the nation. Like, it only makes sense that he's going to be, like, the main Olympics guy to draw American viewers into watching the Olympics. Like, it's somebody they can connect to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But it wasn't like he was advertised beforehand, because when we talked about him before, we almost talked about him like in that Babe Ruth urban legend category, like we weren't ever going to hear from him again.
Yeah, it was just like
and
a guy
now
who
all of a
came and
sudden
went.
he's right back on TV. But what you said about the weed being something for his therapy brings it all full circle to what I wanted to talk about. Another reason why he's going to be pushed into the limelight, not even just now for the Olympics, where he's setting himself up for the future, is making himself a symbol of mental health. And
much like
you would
the
have
other
never
person.
thought that Michael Phelps was going to be. No, I don't think she is. I don't think she is a symbol of mental health.
No, that's what they're going to try to spin.
What was the partnership with Michael Phelps again? Who did he partner with? Talkspace. So the Simone Biles thing that happened, her leaving the Olympics, has many people addressing the issue of mental health. And Michael Phelps, doing his job reporting on the Olympics, was speaking about it. But he also is using this, this pop-up of mental health that wasn't guaranteed to happen in the Olympics. It just kind of happened sporadically. That mental health is being talked about in association with Olympic athletes because of the Simone Biles thing. He's using that to push forward his partnership with a company called Talkspace, which is an online service that offers different ways and mechanisms to help people cope with mental health problems. And he's an ambassador for them.
That's a perfect opportunity for him.
Exactly.
Like, the first year he comes back to, like, be, like, the Olympics guy, like, Simone Biles is, like, drops out because of mental health. He's like, yeah, see what I was talking about? Like, this is exactly what I mean. Like, it's perfect for him.
And now we're starting to see where the career of Michael Phelps is headed. A few months ago when we spoke about him, he was pretty much an urban legend swimmer who there was other folk tales about, like how much he would eat.
Had webbed feet and shit.
He had webbed feet. We talked about that. Look it up. He has, like, super webbed hands or something.
Now, we couldn't figure out if this is like a Mandela effect type deal or if it was just like an urban legend folklore type thing, where we definitely thought at a time, or heard at least a lot, that he had webbed feet and webbed hands. Like, that was a thing that was talked about. Whether or not
100%.
it was fact or fiction, but it was definitely talked about.
And we couldn't find it.
Specifically. There was no trace of it anywhere online.
Let us know in the comments. Do you remember Michael Phelps having webbed hands and webbed feet?
He did.
I'm pretty sure he did. But now you can't find that information. If you do find that information, send it through to NoLimitEddie@gmail.com.
Do you remember anything about, like, Michael Phelps having, like, webbed limbs?
I definitely heard about, like, webbed hands or feet.
So I was just like, it was, and we Googled it and couldn't find a trace of anything. Nothing. Not even like Michael Phelps doesn't have. Like, it was just like there was nothing.
So they erased that from his history, and now the next part of Michael Phelps' history, which we could have not anticipated a couple months ago, is that he's going to be an ambassador for mental health. How do you think that's going to go for him? Do you think he's going to fare well in that field?
I think so, yeah. I mean, he's like, it's like Terry Crews coming out as like an advocate for sexual assault. This big guy you would never expect is going to connect with somebody more, because it's like you would never expect Terry Crews to be a victim of sexual assault that affected him so deeply. You would never think Michael Phelps, this gold medal Olympian fucking god in sports, would struggle with mental health so much and be such an advocate for it. You know what I mean? So I think that it'll definitely be successful for him, and now he's going to springboard the company that he already has a platform because he's Michael Phelps. Now with the Simone Biles thing being the biggest controversy in sports right now,
and automatically being linked to what he's linked to the Olympics. He's going to springboard that and use it to get his message across everywhere. Because now he's going to talk about it. He's already in the limelight because of the Olympics in the first place. Right.
And then this thing happened. He's like, oh, perfect opportunity. This is my company that I do now. You know what I mean? So
yeah, which is partially,
I'm happy
for me,
him.
it's like an ethical dilemma partially because, I don't know, Michael Phelps could legitimately be an advocate for mental health and want to, you know, improve situations for those who deal with that. But also at the same time, you got to think this Talkspace thing is going to profit off of it.
For sure.
They're going to profit
Talkspace
off
isn't the
of...
only thing like this either. But now it could become the biggest. They can take over Headspace and there's BetterHelp and shit like that.
Yeah, and it's such a brand new field that most people probably know about Headspace, but even if you know about that, there's really not a solidified number one spot in the field yet. Nope. So Talkspace could easily take it over, especially with such a similar name.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Get it confused. Like, Talkspace. They're going to connect it to watching the Olympics and Michael Phelps and seeing it all over. There's going to be commercials for it probably all over the place soon because now everyone's going to want to get in on it.
Yeah.
Good for Michael Phelps. I'm proud of him that he was able to. Dude, it takes a special person to like dominate a sport and be so world famous for a sport and then start a career being famous for something completely else.
And he did it off swimming too. It's a lot different if you're LeBron James and you do it off basketball, where it's an extremely popular sport throughout the entire world, or if you're... So for me, he's in the category of two different guys. Tiger Woods did it off golf. Not an extremely popular sport to the masses, but he transcended himself to be the guy and now represents brands and represents other things more than he represents the sport of golf. And the second guy, another Olympian, Usain Bolt. From running track, like who really cares? People are interested in track. They want to see who wins. They'll turn it on when it's the Olympics. But who really cares about the runners themselves? Usain Bolt was so good and so charismatic that he transcended himself into something bigger than running.
There's obviously people who like track, like you said. The silent majority of just sports fans in general, like, you don't think about track at all. You might follow tennis and passing somehow. You know what I mean? Like, these aren't... The main sports are hockey, basketball, football, and baseball.
I don't think there's been one in tennis yet, but go ahead.
And, you know, like, I think Serena Williams would be the closest. Serena Williams has definitely transcended to be, like, global icon for tennis. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think for sure. And that's also because she's, like, a freak of nature. You know, she's way different than all the other tennis players. She's gigantic. She's strong. She's fast. She's like the LeBron James of tennis. And she's a woman. You know, it just all those factors like make her an icon. So I would even throw her in that category of Tiger Woods, Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps. You know. Yeah,
I was thinking you came up with a woman one. I was thinking of men's, like even Federer and Nadal. Those type of guys from tennis, they're not all the way there yet to the point that Nike would make them the face of something.
Correct.
They're not all the way
Serena
there
Williams.
yet. Serena Williams, right.
Yeah.
You're right on that.
Yeah.
So what that got me thinking of is our last topic, the best sports in the Olympics. And not necessarily like the best, but just like the most interesting to watch. Before we get into that, who's going to be the first guy that throws discus and he transcends and becomes some crazy star?
Discus.
Throws discus. Who gives a fuck about throwing discus?
Nobody.
I was watching the track and field event the other day, and they were having the guys throw discus in between like a race that was going on, and I was way more interested in the race that was just 20 dudes running in a circle nonstop than a guy spinning and throwing the discus.
No one gives a fuck about that. No, what I like the high jump and shit. Like I enjoy that. Or like what's like
Shout out to Fosbury Flop.
yeah, like that stuff, like the flies. Like I enjoy that. The vaulting, is that what it is? Like pole vaulting? I don't. You know, I'm not. I'm a Winter Olympics guy. I think Winter Olympic sports are way more interesting and better to watch. Basketball for the Summer Olympics is kind of stupid. Like the United States, they beat Iran like 130-60. It's kind of dumb. Like that's not a competitive field in basketball.
They've been losing a lot though.
But yeah, they were. Ping pong, like that, like you saw.
No, ping pong is one of the best to watch.
I can see that.
I'll
'cause
watch
it's two people
Olympic
going head
ping
to head,
pong.
very competitive. You know, and they're giving it their all. And it's just two people going head to head. I fuck with that.
Yo, it's actually hilarious, bro. I lived at one point. I lived the Olympic ping pong scene. You know how?
Oh.
My first year at college at Temple, I lived in a dorm where a lot of foreign kids lived, and there was a ping pong table downstairs, and they were all good. And I would go down and play too. I eventually got good. I was ass
Really?
at first, but it was literally like
Did you get good
Olympic
enough to
ping
beat them
pong.
or just good enough to play with them?
Some people were impossible to beat because they were just playing for years, but
Yeah.
some I could beat after a certain point. And yeah, it did take a while just to get good enough to play with them, but it was really like Olympic ping pong. All different nations would go down, meet up like 5 p.m., just games of ping pong, ripping it.
Till 4 a.m. Like all hours of the night just ripping ping pong games.
All the Olympic sports that were brought in this year that were supposed to be cool, terrible. Like skateboarding. I was like, this is not an Olympic thing.
Not
Keep
an
it for the
Olympic
X
sport.
Games.
Now, I didn't watch a lot of the Summer Olympics, to be honest with you. But I watched it in passing. The skateboarding, it's not street skating, right? It's vert. It's all vert skating, ramps.
No, it's street.
How could they do street Olympic skating?
It's like,
They're like grinding on rails and shit.
yeah.
That's so
They get like a
fucking
run,
stupid.
just like the X
If it was
Games.
like Tony Hawk, Tony Hawk's another one, like transcending a sport, like
Yeah,
transcended-
skateboarding.
Like Tony Hawk would be in the
The half pipe.
Nah, it was like a full pipe. He was in like the tall one.
Yeah, but it's always called a half pipe because a full pipe is just like a full circle. It could be a just taller half pipe.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
The circle thing you're talking about from like Jackass where they used to send the guys in the carts.
Yeah. Now that's all vert skating.
Yeah, that's vert.
Now I can see that being an Olympic sport. 'Cause
I
you're picking up
noticed from
speed.
Rocket Power.
Yeah, vert.
Vert and street.
Yeah, vert and street. Yeah, like Tony Hawk, like pulling off the 900. That I can see being a part of Olympics, but grinding on rails and like fucking like shove-its and shit. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? I don't know. That just seems dumb to be in Olympics. I caught like the bike races. Those were like intense. They added bike races that were like going through like wooden like the woods and like trails. Like they were like serious.
Yeah, that was a mountain bike. They also had a bike race where they had this blue floor out of nowhere. They covered a bridge in this blue flooring and it rained and almost every rider was busting their ass.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like a BMX race where it was going
Dude,
on like
they've had a
hills.
lot of problems like that. In the triathlon, they had a boat that lined up in front of all the people, and then the guy who was supposed to do the starting gun shot it, even though that the boat was right there, and the people jumped in the water because the boat only covered like a third of the field. So the other people thought like, well, he shot the gun, I'm going. Then some people see them go and follow. The boat started trying to
Yeah.
back out real fast, and it's a motorboat, and almost ran over people in the water with the motor. Imagine that. Olympics, chop 2 swimmers' heads off.
That would be
That would be the
unbelievable.
end of the Olympics right there. No, it wouldn't. They would just keep
They
shit
would-
pushing, to be
yeah,
honest. They really
just keep
would.
shit pushing.
They
They'd be
really
like,
would,
free
and that's the
Jackson,
most
we're
fucked up
getting
part
rid of
about
that sport. No, the Olympics is too big.
Skateboarding was terrible. Also terrible, 3-on-3 basketball.
That's so stupid.
Because they don't have anybody good. The United States 3-on-3 team, if you really wanted to guarantee you win gold, would just be like Kevin Durant, LeBron James,
And Steph
James
Curry.
Harden. Like,
Or yeah, James.
not
James
these
Harden.
3 dudes that they got out there. It's just,
Who's out there?
I don't even know.
That's the problem.
I honestly don't even think they played in the NBA. So how can they be the best 3-on-3?
Yeah, that's just so dumb. That's the other thing. The other thing about Olympic sports is that all the athletes are so obscure for me, and like I don't know them, so it's like I don't know. That's why I like the Winter Olympics, because I just feel like the sports are more interesting. I think hockey's more competitive than basketball, and hockey, like there's skill everywhere, all over the world.
I would compare hockey to soccer in the Olympics, and I don't know if it's the same rules, but I think I heard earlier about the
The
soccer
World Cup's
that
fire.
it's under 23 in the Olympics. You can only play if you're under 23.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know, but that does make a high difference. Does that happen in hockey? You
I'm
can
not
only play
sure.
if you're under a certain
I
age.
have no idea.
No, I don't think it does because I think
But they have like the luge. Curling in the Olympics is pretty interesting, honestly. And
That's a
curling's
good-
like a, like
that's
a,
a
like
good
a
winter
weird
Olympic
niche, like,
sport.
but that's a good Olympic sport to watch. That's very competitive and it's like all technique and finesse. I like curling a lot.
I like archery from the Summer
Really?
Olympics where they shoot the bow and arrows.
I never watched that.
South Korea hit some crazy thing that only happens like once in a lifetime. They hit the 10 every time for like 3.
That actually sounds.
There's
very
like 3
very
sets you
cool.
get to shoot, and they hit at the 10 every one.
Yeah, that sounds. I feel like I can get into archery. That seems like a cool one. It's like a cool skill. I've been thinking a lot about going, starting to go hunting. And I was like talking about it with my dad, and he was like, "You gotta hunt with a bow." And I didn't even think about it. I was just thinking about getting like a rifle. He's like, "Where's the fun?" And like, where's like you have a sniper with a scope on it. It's how's it competitive? He said, "If you want to go out there, you got to go out there with a bow."
And then you miss, and the
cross-
bear starts charging you. What
Nah,
do
you
you
don't
do?
hunt bears, hunting deer.
Deer starts charging you.
Nah, deer ain't gonna charge me. I'll fucking knock a deer's head off.
Yeah, he'd run away. He would.
Pussy. That's when you pull the oh shit, did I just unplug that?
Nah,
we're
you're good.
That's when you pull the blade out and stab it. Hunting just seems crazy. Your adrenaline's probably going crazy. Your legs are probably like going like numb. Like it's probably such an adrenaline rush that you don't even feel nothing.
I don't know anything about hunting. I'm just letting you go.
Let's start no limit
Even though
hunting
we're out
trip.
here in the woods right now.
No limit hunting trip. This ain't the woods. That's
Over
fucking
there
wild.
is the woods. They just found somebody over there.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that's like bad luck, ain't it, with the left hand?
I don't know.
Can't do a
but
sign of the cross with the left hand, can you?
I don't know if it's bad luck. You're not supposed to. I think you're supposed to do it with the right hand.
I don't know.
You got any other Olympic sports you want to talk about?
No, I'm not a big Olympics guy. I prefer the World Cup as like that's the way we tell what nation's better. World Cup soccer. Oh, every country's into soccer. That should be the tell all. If your soccer team sucks, then your country sucks. The U.S. is going to get really good at soccer in the next 20 years
How do you know that?
because soccer's just growing and growing and growing, and football's dying because people aren't having their kids play football anymore because all the
Shit.
CTE and DMT. So, the CTE is just killing football. So like everyone's playing soccer and they're pushing for soccer. So soccer's just growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. It's like they're gonna start playing soccer at a young age, and that's where all their passions are gonna lie. And you're gonna have all these U.S. soccer players growing up getting killed. I said getting killed. It's like killing soccer.
Growing up and
Dude, I'm
getting
still
killed.
in Key West mode, dude. I'm like fucking getting
You
killed.
just want to grow. That was your whole vibe. Grow up and get killed. You wanted to
That
feel
really
like an
was
adult.
my vibe, but like completely unintentionally. I actually,
You were down there thinking you were turning into an adult on this trip. You're like,
When
I'm
I,
down Key West on my own.
Dude, nah, when I got down there, I was like, you know what? This is a good time to relax. It's gonna be a nice vacation with my friends. And I passed out off Budweiser's by the time 7 o'clock hit.
Any bull loves a Budweiser.
It's my vice. It's a genetic vice that I've received. It's just Bud Heavy, it's in my veins. I see a Budweiser, I just want it. You know what I mean? I
Did you
can't
say
resist.
10 Budweisers, 2 hot dogs, and a cheeseburger?
Dude, I'm telling you know what? You know, I don't want to be too hard on myself. I went to the bar. I said, hey, get Miller Lite. And my boy Kenny, he got there a little bit before me. He drank both bars out of Miller Lite by the time I got to the pool. So maybe didn't have that much. I don't know. But I got there. He said, yeah, they're out of Miller Lite. I looked in the fridge. I saw Budweiser staring at me. I said, you fucking beautiful bastard. I said, I said, let me get a Budweiser. You know, a few of them later, and I was asleep by the pool. The fucking dude was like lighting the fire next to me, laughing at me. They were taking videos of me. Someone put a White Claw in my mouth.
Shout out all of our unofficial sponsors, Budweiser, Sparkling Ice,
Igloo, whatever the fucking logo is over
and
there.
White Monster.
Whatever this microphone is.
If you don't like White Monster, then fuck you.
What is that? What is an ice what?
Sparkling Ice. Best
Dude,
drink you'll ever have.
You know, I saw interesting TikTok, because you know any bulls on TikTok, heavy in the TikTok game. NoLimit podcast on TikTok, follow the page.
Any bull came back, my TikTok messages started flooding again.
Yeah,
I
I got
knew
back
he
in
was
my
back.
groove. I was off. I'm on a 5-day TikTok hiatus. It's the most I've taken since I downloaded the app. I saw TikTok that sparkling water and like seltzer water, there's all this chemicals in it that are like horrible for you. And like people are like, I saw like a bunch of TikToks saying like in the next 15 years, like
no, oh no, oh no, 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 no.
in the next 15 years, it's gonna be like the water fucking like debacle. Like all this, like people are just slamming these seltzer waters and they're terrible for you. And people drink it like it's regular water. But they cause all these problems. So like in 15 years you might have, dude, I'm telling you,
Go
the
back to
world is
that
so
natural
fucked.
spring.
So like if you drink bottled drinks, when they're transporting the bottles, the heat from the heat that's getting into these bottles, the chemicals seep into the drinks that you're drinking, and that causes cancer. You fucking drink sparkling water, that causes, like, there's gonna be, phones cause cancer, laptop, like, there's literally going to be nothing. Everything is going to cause some kind of problem.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
don't know how we can sustain it.
Start
In my
hunting
store,
and drinking out of the
in my
creek.
store, we sell these bikes, right? They're fucking electric bikes. They're like
They cause cancer.
$2,000. There's literally a label on it. There's a label on it that says warning: cancer and respiratory or reproductive harm. It literally has it on the box.
Oh, because you sit on the seat and it's on your balls or
Yup.
on your vag, and
Yup.
then it zaps you with the fucking electricity.
Yup.
Shit's going crazy, bro. You gotta walk everywhere. You gotta hunt your food, and you gotta drink out of the river.
It's the only way. It's literally, even like apples are sprayed with shit that is bad. Like there's nothing you can do. The cards are stacked completely against you when it comes to health. And these companies are just allowed to get away with it.
Listen, bro, I'm gonna enjoy my one more seltzer and then maybe think about what you said, do a little research,
Yeah,
change
you know
it
what?
up.
Fucking kill the case.
But right
Get
now,
rid of it.
I want to talk about where the podcast is headed for this season. Let our true
Facts.
fans know what's going down with season 3, the endless
Facts.
season. So, season 3, No Limit. It's gonna go on forever. When I'm 40 years old, this podcast will be on season 3, episode 8,743. Season 3 is going on forever. When we say the endless season, we're not playing. Season 3 forever.
And you know, like when we started the podcast, it was literally the first type of like content like this we ever did. So like we got to take time to like, all right, figure out what we're going to do next. You know, 10 episodes, figure some shit out. 10 episodes or 12 episodes, 15 episodes, whatever we did. So figure some shit out. Get some ideas together, get some plans together, studio changes, whatever. And so now that we kind of got like our feet going, we kind of know how to go about
And
it.
the way I really feel
It should
about
be
it,
a lot
bro,
easier.
is that this season 3, starting with this episode being number 1, this is the real No Limit podcast.
Yeah.
Like, the first 2 seasons, even though they're called seasons, and in everyone's mind, they're trained to think they were these long bodies of work and that they were, like, crucial to what the entire thing's going to be, I feel like those were our warm-ups. We had never done a podcast before the first episode of season 1, and then we just ripped out 30 episodes for the first 2
and then
seasons.
think about like those last few episodes or the last few, like every episode we do is the better one. Every time we do an episode, that becomes the better one because it's just always improving. So like, if you watch the first episode of the podcast, it's way different. If you watch the 10th episode, it's way different. If you watch the 24th episode, it's way different. If you watch the 33rd episode, it's way different. So I kind of just think that it's always going to evolve, but the way that we are taking it is going to definitely be the way just going forward. And we're on
Yeah.
the same page with it. You know what I mean? I think that I think it's going to be good.
That's the best you got. It's just going to be good. Yeah,
It's
we're
gonna
going to
be
do
fucking great.
9,340 episodes, and it's going to be good.
It's going to be good. You're going to want to tune in to episode 8,000 right now. I'm telling
Yeah,
you. it's
you're
gonna be a fire
definitely
one.
going to want to listen to it.
Definitely
for
wanna listen to
sure.
it. And watch it. And rate it. And subscribe to it. Make
And
love
like
to
the
it.
videos and comment.
That's what you want to say. No.
And we're out. Peace out. This has been No Limit, Season 3, Episode 1, The Endless Season. I'm not fucking playing games. Are you?